and welcome to Agenda from Bengaluru, definitely the IT capital of the country. But recently the news out of the IT industry has not always been positive. We've all read reports about mass layoffs, thousands of IT workers losing their jobs, a sense of insecurity in the industry. Is this true? IT companies and NASSCOM say that there are no mass layoffs, that any separation from the company, which is the term they use, is because of performance criteria. But the word automation is also sending shivers down the spines of IT employees. What is the truth really? One side or the other, or somewhere in between? Joining us to discuss this, we have a great panel here in Bengaluru, and we're going to start with Mr. Mohandas Pai, Chairman of the Manipal Global Education Services, and a man with years of experience in the IT industry, including many years with Infosys itself. You've seen those headlines. Thousands of IT workers losing their job. Is it true?
No, I don't think it's true, and I've yet to meet many people who lost their jobs. I think we should start with data. There are 4.5 million people involved working in the IT industry in India, which include the export industry, the local industry, and in-house. In-house also needs to be counted. The top 5 IT companies in India, that is TCS, Cognizant, Infosys, Wipro, and HCL, employ between them 1.2 million people. There's a lot of people, all right? The fact is, there's a global slowdown. Growth is about 2% globally, so there's a slowdown, and that means slower growth. All these companies have said they're going to grow at 7 to 9% this year, and NASSCOM has said 7 to 8% for the entire industry. That means they're going to hire 100 to 150, 200,000 people in this industry for this year. That is net additional people. And this industry will have an attrition of 12%. That means 12% of 4.5 million people will leave.
Okay.
And 12% of 4.5 million people is about 5,30,000 people or so. All right? So there's a churning going on.
It goes on. It's not nothing unusual.
Because of slowdown, many companies are trying to remove the bottom 1 or 2%. So they do their annual appraisal, and every year 1%, 0.5% are asked to go because there are no hopes. They're not working, they're no good, and they're not bad quality. It just happens in every industry. Maybe this year they're doing 2%, but even I don't think they're doing 2% because TCS has said they're not letting anybody go. Vishal Sikka has said they're not letting anybody go, and Wipro has not said anything. Cognizant said 6,000 now. I think I don't know what they're doing, and HCL has said we're not letting anybody go. So who is letting anybody go? And some people are making it a big issue without any data. Headhunters are saying 200,000 this year, 200,000 without any data, just to get publicity. I think the reality is, yes, there is fear of automation. Automation is going to reduce low-level jobs or uncomplicated jobs for the next 5-10 years, not right now.
Mr. Syed Mukimuddin, you're president of the All India IT Employees Association. There has been concern. You've even met the IT minister over this.
That's right.
Are layoffs happening?
Definitely they're happening. And to challenge Mr. Mohandas Pai that he is yet to meet any of the people, he should be aware that there's a systematic removal of people that's happening. There are recorded conversations where employees who are being told to go, resign immediately and leave, who have come on to the, posted their conversations online, which clearly state that we would like to see some of the higher-ups. The HR simply just puts it down to say, I'm the last person you speak to. So that's all that you have. The only options you got is just resign and leave. If not, you're going to be terminated, and that's going to be a blot on your career. And that's what is dangerous. So there's been a systemic removal of people. There's buffers put in place. So that's what we call, that there's simply no respite or simply no other forum or platform for employees to take their grievances.
What Mr. Pai is saying actually is that, yes, there are people going, but it's not unusual that the bottom 1 or in this case maybe this year 2% does go.
Can we recall cases where an employee who's put 8 years, 10 years being told to go? So how is it that the first gate of check, interview, he was passing that. The second gate of check, a probation period, he or she passed that. Then they consistently performed for 8 or 10 years, and now suddenly you find them that they're unfit. Even if you say that,
so
a person is unfit.
You have met people who have lost their jobs because of this.
Absolutely.
Maya, this is a large industry, 4.5 million. If 5,000 people are asked to go, 10,000 people are asked to go, that's normal. This is not something extraordinary. It's a big number. These are not big numbers.
It's not about people going.
60,000, 100,000. I want to see them standing out. I want to see the photographs anywhere. I don't see anybody.
Unfortunately, one life, it matters. One life that takes care of its family. One life that is dependent to take care of children, to take care of their families, to pay their bills.
Two absolutely different points of view. Mr. Pai saying nobody is leaving. Saeed Mukhammadin of the Employees Association saying they are leaving. Somdutta Singh, you're with NASSCOM, co-chair of the NASSCOM Product Council. Now, NASSCOM has been saying that layoffs are not happening. That this year Indian export may grow at 7 to 8%, even though it's a bit less than last year. But again, looking to hire 1.3 to 1.5 lakh people. That doesn't sound so bad, does it?
You have to understand that an industry which is growing at a 7 to 8% can also let go of labor and reskill and re-employ labor in a certain fashion. Absolutely. It is not.
You feel IT companies are just letting people...
See, an individual who's spending more than 14 to 16 hours at workplace and then spending 3 hours in the horrible traffic, commuting every day to work, there's simply no time for people to skill themselves.
It should be the company's responsibility.
Absolutely. It's the companies as well as the...
Maya, people don't work 14, 16 hours, Maya. Come on, Maya, that's a joke.
Nobody does. I disagree.
For large companies, okay?
That's right.
If there is a project, they sleep overnight, they may work for a week because there's a deliverable, they're delivered. If you say 100% of people work 16 days, that's a joke. That's a joke. Why will they work? They can't work.
Mr. Srinivas, you're with T-Hub, CEO of an IT company. Your perspective, are people being laid off or are they not being upskilled when they can't keep pace with developments, and are they being laid off because of that? What are your thoughts on the issue from inside you?
So I think there's a couple of different things going on, right? At this point in time, yes, certain people, as it happens every year, certain people get laid off.
Big numbers because the base is so huge.
Exactly. But that's not a big deal. There's something else that's happening that people are mixing up with this. There's this fear about automation, AI, robotics, and all of that taking up everyone's jobs, right? That's a long way away. Certain jobs may disappear today, but other jobs are appearing. Data science, for example, there's a lot more people being hired in data science than ever before. So it's compensated. Some people get taken off over here, get rehired over there. Within the IT industry as well, reskilling is definitely required. There are certain skills that are changing.
Maya, let me give you another data. Utilization for the top 5 companies is 87%. The highest we have seen in the last 10 years. Now, will any company let go a person who is being billed and earning revenues? They will not let go. They'll miss the revenues.
Absolutely.
So who are these people who are being let go? People who have been on the bench for 6-8 months, people who are not billed, people who are managers and the time is over, they're not producing anything. These are people who are at the bottom of the pyramid. If you're billing 87%, it's very high. Another 6% are trainees, right? Another 6% are on leave. So there leaves only 2 or 3% who are ineffective. These are all data points available in the public.
Let me bring Mr. Deepak. Mr. Deepak, you're with you're a member of the Forum for IT Employees. The IT industry itself, NASSCOM, veterans in the industry saying it's a natural process that upskilling has to happen. There is a turnover. How concerned are you for your...
I agree with that. Upskilling should happen, but that's not happening. That's the truth. And one more thing, the ground reality is that employees are not let to go even though if they are in the project.
Yes.
That's the truth we are seeing. We are filing the petitions. Each week we are filing the petition in the labor department, and you should hear the stories from their side actually. Let me finish, please. Okay.
Don't make general comments.
Okay. This is,
if you let people speak up, you will see that there's things going to come pouring out.
Give data, no?
How many petitions have you been dealing with? How many people do you
So far we have petitioned 85 people.
85. Okay.
85 petitions are there. So
These are
85 petitions in the
people
sense.
who have come up despite all the suppression that's been happening from the industry, despite you saying we'll blacklist people who ever come up and speak up. In the year 2004, I can quote all the industry heads, including Infosys, Wipro, HCL, who have actually come out and said social gag order. Why did we do that? Are we looking at suppressing people? Let them express themselves openly. If there is a concern, they should be able to open it
figures,
and
right?
speak.
Yes.
Maya, please. Okay, I will provide this data. On June 7th, you are saying that there is no suppression from the industry. This is from the Mohandas Pai, the same person who is sitting here. He said that there is nobody is supporting to attempt to collectivize on part of the employees, which means he is referring to as forum for IT employees. We are doing that one. And those who support these efforts will not get jobs. So it's a threat on the face of the employees. And how can he say that there is no...
Right now,
He's threatening on the face of the employees.
Everybody who is asked to go gets a job between 2 to 3 months. That's the history of this industry. 0.1%, hang on. 0.1% who don't have any skills or out of place will not get a job. Why will anybody hire them?
That happens
There's
across
a free will that happens across industry. Okay,
Right now there is no union of IT employees allowed in Karnataka. No union of IT employees allowed. Should there be a union?
There should be. What is it that we are trying to hide here? If everything is fine, then let unions come out. Let associations
should be-
come
there
out.
should be a union.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Before you are asking me the question, what is NASCOM doing here? What is a part of a job of NASCOM?
Exactly.
They are
I mean, they are
organizing employers,
representation
right?
of employers.
So we are just trying
is
to
it
protect
that
our side of jobs, and we are just trying to communicate.
See, let me clarify here. NASCOM is not here to protect the interest of only the employers. It is here to protect the interest of both. The reason a consortium is formed, the idea of it is how a balance can be brought between the two. That's why there is an existence of a consortium. And let me also talk about this, Maya. Whose responsibility is it to upskill themselves? Right? It's like this. Between a parent and a parent can impart knowledge only when the child is ready to accept knowledge. A child who disbars knowledge cannot be skilled and therefore hinders its own growth. So here it is upon the employer. See, the employers today, I'll just give you, in IT industry has introduced 17 new job titles in the last 8 years. Where was big data? Where was data science? Where was automation? Where was AI 8 years back? New roles have been introduced and all these new roles have been meted with skills which is harnessing the employees.
The onus is on the employee to upskill or also on the employer to help?
Maya, this industry spends $2 billion a year on training.
Yes.
It's the highest for any industry in India. Every employee undergoes training. And for promotions and training is that every employee undergoes 5 to 10 days of high quality training.
Absolutely.
You ask any company that got training, it's been going on for 20 years.
So it's not that you're
Everybody has a chance to get
it's not that you're abandoning the employees.
No.
and saying
Some
that-
people cannot be upskilled. If people are brain dead, you can't upskill them. They're gone. They passed the expiry date. So what do you do? What do you do?
10 years.
Everybody
How come brain dead people are working for 10 years? And you are saying that they are brain dead.
My question to the management. You hired a brain dead zombie for 10 years and you've been billing the customer. You've been billing the customer. Are you going to go give back a credit note to the customer to say 10 years I've been getting the zombie to work for you? I'm not misrepresenting. You're calling someone brain dead person. Sorry to say, you made him work for 10 years, 12 years. You squeezed every drop out of them and you tell them brain dead.
Absolute lack of trust here. Absolute lack of trust in terms of this, yeah.
Maya, hang on. Maya, there are so many jobs in this industry. For the last 10 years, attrition has been 15%, 80%. Anybody leaves gets a job. Nobody has forced anybody to remain in any company for any number of years. You can't force people.
Yes.
People walk out, people get jobs. You look at everybody. 80% of people in 10 years have shifted 3 jobs. But I used to do hiring. I've seen the data.
Yes,
80%
yes,
of
you
people.
with HR, yes,
If you
yes.
look at Infosys,
Yeah.
the people who joined 20 years by still there are not even about 1,000 people. They're gone. Everybody's gone. We see the data
So
every day.
movement
So
is
for all these people to
natural.
say, you kept him for 10 years, oh, you did this, you sucked him, all nonsense.
Would you be happy if the IT companies themselves did more about upskilling people and training them? Do you think enough is being done in that
It's
field?
not. That's the point that we are questioning. Why are you suppressing collective voice of the employees? Let it come up. Let there be unions, let there be associations, and then you will see whether things are going in the right direction or not. When we talk about the performance appraisal process itself, how transparent is it? Today, India has a right to information where we can question the President of India, and yet none in the IT, it doesn't matter whether it's public sector or not. These companies have been getting substantial grants from the government, substantial subsidies, substantial red carpet from the government. And that is something-
No grants, all lies. All lies, no grants.
You're giving the example of people hired 10 years ago, right? It was a different industry then. It's not the same industry today. So they could have been great at their jobs at that point. Skills have changed now.
In fact, that is the entire reason why All India IT Employee Association has been demanding that we take it up with the central government, that we get a tax rebate on all amounts spent on skilling. That is what we are talking about. What has NASCOM done about skilling? What is the industry is doing about it?
This industry has not grown by
you can't
This
simply
industry has grown because we have hired these people and trained them, okay? You are not done anything. You're only people who come and try to disrupt something. Please.
Time for a bit of a break now to calm things down. Absolute divide here with employees saying that they're losing their jobs, thousands of people losing their jobs, they're not being helped to upskill. The other part of the industry, the employers, NASCOM saying that we have been spending money on upskilling, we have been spending money on training. Some people cannot continue employed because they're just not good enough. So clear divide here. We'll get back after the break to also talk to some young students who plan to enter this rather volatile industry after a short break. back to this rather heated discussion on whether layoffs are happening in the IT industry or not. Now we have some students here, future employees of the IT industry, listening to all this. Do you feel anxious, or are you fairly sure that you will get a job, or are you a little bit more nervous than you used to be?
Yeah, we are actually, in that sense, we are nervous. Like we might not get jobs because there are so many, like lakhs and lakhs of people are trying for jobs, and we are somewhere we feel a kind of nervousness because we might fall short of skills.
Looking at the skills and the skill sets required by the industry, we are feeling doubtful.
Which are changing faster and faster every single day. What about you? Are you confident that you'll be able to?
Although you're capable of getting a job, or you're confident about yourself, at times you lose hope to the growing the way the people are competing to get into IT companies. It somewhere gives you a downfall, like if I cannot make it.
When you have confidence that you can get through, so there is nothing to worry about.
Mr. Pai, young students here about to enter the industry, would you like to give them any bit of hope, because I think they're feeling a little bit stressed right now?
Look, Maya, we are in a very competitive world. I have no sympathy for people who don't work hard, get the right kind of skills. Nobody gets a free meal. They have to work.
It's not a charity.
I worked very hard. I taught my university. I taught my class, and I got great approach. They have to work very hard. They have to get skills. They have to study on their own, go to MOOCs, do a lot of courses. They have to work 12, 14 hours a day in college. You can't have fun like we had fun too. But industry is going to hire a certain amount of people, which is now 15% of the total engineering output. 10 years back, it was 30%, 40%. Every year, 1.2 million engineers come out.
Yes.
150,000, 200 get hired. The engineering numbers have gone up. The hiring has not gone up. So this is becoming more and more top of the pyramid.
It's a reality.
So they have to have better skills. If they do that, it's a global job.
Now, if I was to respond to that, I myself been a witness to how we hire people in hordes when there's a project in the pipeline, when there's a client visit that's going to happen, and we want to show the 300-seater that's all ready, we can go live in the next couple of weeks. The bench strength becomes very big. The moment that pipeline dries up, you find the flimsiest ground to terminate a person, and that's what is actual exploitation. And that's where you can't simply keep insisting that these people were unfit, they were brain dead, and they simply cannot be accommodated. That's unfair, and that's what is not acceptable. Nowhere in the world would a company be allowed to hire on just the assumption that some project is going to come to us. Exactly, and that is what we want to correct in this industry.
So you're representing NASSCOM, the industry body.
That's right.
You've heard these students. There is more stress, there is insecurity now with the reports of layoffs. Can they cope with changes in technology? What would you like to say to them?
See, in the last 8 years, if you see from the last 8 years, the number of new technologies, the number of new platforms that has been introduced has been humongous, right? There was never an opportunity where people were getting skilled in digital and then getting employment in digital. Today, the idea is about how do I cross-skill myself? Forget about the days when you could just read a book and then get an entry into a job and you can stay with that same kind of input. Today, absolutely, you can't do that. And neither are the students looking for that. They're aspirational. See, they want money, they want a good life, and if they want these two, they have to work hard towards it.
What kind of impact will automation really have in terms of numbers?
Let me tell you, there are three kinds of jobs. The first kind of job is the job which requires the left brain and the right brain, the creative aspect, the logical aspect. Those jobs will remain. These are creative people like software architects, software designers, etc. Second kind of jobs are the rule-based jobs, which 80% of people do, 60% of people do maybe. These jobs will get eliminated because they're done by an algorithm. It can be done by a machine. It's a software. The third kind of jobs are lower level job like a driver, which may go, hairdresser, a marshal and all, that will remain because they're individualistic. And they too, the cost of a fully loaded robo in America is $5 an hour. But the middle class job is shrinking.
The middle job, which
exactly. And last point, in America, 10 million jobs have disappeared over the last 15 years. All right? It is real. It'll come to India another 5-10 years.
You can't learn one thing and expect that's going to take you through the rest of your career. You've got to be continuously learning what's going on. It's a fast-changing technological world right now, right? There are new jobs coming up in so many areas. You're saying 17 of them, right? Augmented reality, virtual reality, automation, data science, robotics, so many things coming up. You've got to keep upskilling yourself.
None of the employees deny from upskilling ourselves. We ourselves have been the people who have benefited from the layoffs that happened in the banking sector when the banks got digitized. We were the beneficiaries for it.
You do not question why people are leaving the organization. When organization decide to let go of people, you question the organization. This is a very unfair practice. So many people, because of the startup boom, the industry has lost 17% of its skilled manpower because people are going and starting their companies. Who's going to take onus of that? You cannot say that I have an organization, I want to start something of my own, and therefore it's relevant for me to do it. But if the company decides to let go of people who do not show the same kind of mindset towards upskilling, it is the responsibility of the organization. Plus, nobody has stopped. No government, no judiciary has stopped.
I think we're divided between the IT company, the impersonal IT company, and the individual employee. The pain of the individual employee versus the needs of the IT organization. It seems to be like that notion is coming across.
Maya, 500,000 people leave this industry. Who are you trying to protect? People go, there are enough jobs, they have to go apply elsewhere, they get jobs. I told you 80% of people who leave get job within 3 months.
This whole business of job security, isn't it a bit last century?
It's not just a question about job security.
Yeah.
The situation has changed, the world has changed, automation is a reality.
Yes.
It is going to reduce jobs, those nice office jobs, air-conditioned jobs, where 9 to 5 or maybe 9 to 7 and you have cars and all that. So you got to be higher skilled, you got to have some specialized creative jobs, so they got to look out and see what it is.
And that's not denial. That's upskilling. Upskilling is something that we don't deny from day one. All that we want to see is action on ground from the IT industry heads, from the government, to show how there has been skills and competency build up every year. That doesn't come
So
out.
really two very different points of view. We've got one hand saying that the IT companies' needs should be looked at, to the IT employees representative saying the IT employees' needs possibly are more paramount. The need definitely for upskilling being agreed upon by both sides. Who needs to do that? Is it the responsibility of the employee or the responsibility of the organizations as well? But the figures being disputed, the facts being disputed as well. Thank you for watching Agenda from Bengaluru. Do join us again next week. Thank you for being with us today.